Okay, so this is a video, obviously about narcissism, if you're here. That corresponds to the previous video that I made. Go check that out. If you were being the bear in the circus, that they were playing the drum and you were just following the beat, or you're being trained like a dog. You're being trained, that's a fact, okay? You're being trained, that's a fact. But what were you? You were being the bear or you're being the dog? Depends on the situation, okay? But at this point, I'm not gonna stand again why they're doing these things. Videos will come about why they were doing these things, but pretty much if you are here, you have already understood and you already know that they lack empathy due to genetics and mostly due to how they were raised or like to social environment and many aspects, that they do create narcissism. And it comes strongly now in this era that we're going through. But I want you to think, why? First of all, let's just say, okay, you are not living in the present. Why, when you are going through this situation like this, an abusive relationship in general, not only narcissism, you are never living in the present. You are absolutely never living in the present. You are living only in the past and trying to understand what happened in the past so you find some balance and understand the things, or you are living in the future with the fear of what is coming after that. And this is where comes the drum analogy, okay? Because at some point, let's just say you are in your house, okay? You're in your place and you're meeting them, or you are being in a distance and you're being by the phone calls or whatever you're being. That was mostly my case. And you just try to capture the energy. You're just trying to capture their energy and see if they are in a place to talk because you obviously want to talk about things, or they're in a place of anger or whatever place they are. So whatever you are doing is you're trying to smell, and understand in what place they are. So at every moment, you are just not being in the present. You're just smelling the situation and trying to understand the situation and how it happened and why it happened and what am I going to do. You stop living on the present. And that's why after PTSD comes, dissociation comes, and all the things that just makes it so hard and so long to get out of any kind of abusive relationship. Okay, I really want you to understand that at this point, this is why I made the bear analogy. Okay, they're playing the drum and you have learned, you had been trained, just like the bear, to always listen to what comes after. And when they start playing and when they start giving you treats and everything, you have learned how to correspond in every single thing that they are doing, okay? But I think that the healing really starts coming only if we understand why we accepted this situation for so long, why we stayed in this situation for so long, why we acted like this. And only by understanding why we're acting like this, it doesn't have to do with them. It really doesn't have to do with them. They're just terrible people. Okay, that's about it. They're just terrible people, and you were in them. You had love, you had empathy, and that's about it. And you're trying to help. You thought that you could actually help. No, you could not. Okay, maybe little changes had happened. In my case, little changes start happening. Okay, but the problem was always lying there. And I realized that the changes were happening because I was conforming, and it made him be in a less frightened place for himself. So slowly the attacks were less, but only because I was conforming. The moment I would step up and talk about the things and talk about my truth or whatever troubled me, the rage and everything, or the just the discard, it would just come again. So I want you to think why you acted like this. And you acted like this because of fear, because you're going to lose this person and you're going to lose all the time that you have spent with this person and away from yourself. And you were just so frightful that maybe if you had suffered more than one abusive relationship like me, that the next thing that's going to come, it's going to come even worse. At some point, you're probably, okay, I'm used to it now. This is like the Stockholm Syndrome, okay? We're going through Stockholm Syndrome at this moment. We are falling in love with the person that has us captivate, okay? Because at this point, this situation is already known to us. We already know the situation. We have learned how to deal with the situation, okay? Obviously not in a healthy place, obviously. but we have learned how to deal with the situation. So the fear of going out of the situation and what's going to happen if we try to go out of the situation, at this point it is even worse. So for me, that now that my healing journey really starts after realizing why they did all the things that they did, is why did I follow, why did I conform, what the fears that I had inside, and what was going to happen after. Okay, so just ask these questions on yourself and just understand that slowly you just got trained, and that's about it. And if you got trained in another way, that means that you can also train your own self right now in another way, because let's face it, we learn from the best. Okay, that's true. I give them credit for that. For this, yes, they have my credit. At some point, you can really fight them if you're still in the situation with your own weapons, because you got trained. So even if you are not out of the situation and you're still in it, turn it around and realize that you literally got trained, and now you have more understanding, more cleverness, more empathy than they have, and you can beat them in their own game. If they trained you, you can train them back. Okay, you can get the fear that you're gonna leave them or you're going to expose them or whatever. Or obviously go in this path with a lot of care, like a lot of attention, because especially if they're the malignant type, okay, we might actually have physical assaults and many things like this. But yeah, I mean, this game can actually be turned around and it can be used later in your own life to be able to stand stronger in your own feet, especially if you are a woman and you are really struggling with abusive relationships. Not that men have it easier, no. Maybe even harder, because for a man to be, the strong and be in this situation, what will do, like, to the man ego? I don't know, I haven't been there, but that's terrifying, okay? So both cases, equal terrifying, not good. But you have the power, now you have learned, now you can see what happened. The healing journey is on. Do it for your own self. I'm also trying to do it with mine. Like, subscribe. I have way more things coming, and I have already made a playlist about narcissism and abusive relationships. So go check this out if you want just support, or just to maybe understand things a little bit more clearer. Namaste. Thank you all for your support, mostly for your support, and for you listening to me. Like, that brings so much peace into my heart. I can actually talk about these things. We should have communities to talk. Like when they're having, like, from alcohol or from things like this. Big communities about this. Thank you. Haram.